What is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? Welcome back here today to another reaction video, and we are going to be reacting to 5 of the most iconic starting lineups of the past 20 NBA seasons, written by Bleacher Report. And like always, the link to the article will be in the description below. So yeah, I hope we have some controversy in today's video. I do want to maybe see them have maybe a hot take here and have a team that or a lineup that really shouldn't be number one at number one. Off the top of my head, the number one most iconic, I don't know if, okay, we got to see what the criteria is here, if it's best or if it's just like iconic. So what makes a quintet iconic? That's open to interpretation, but these are the 5 most necessary lineups to tell the tale. Okay, interesting. So it's not, I don't think that he's basing this off the best. Okay, but obviously if we're going to do best, we would have probably the death lineup of the, or the Hamptons 5 of the Warriors. That was probably number 1. Number 2 could probably be 20 NBA seasons. So this could be, this is tough because then you could probably have Rondo, Allen, Pierce, Garnett, Perkins as a great starting 5. You could have that Pistons starting 5 in 2004. You could have one of the Lakers starting 5s. Obviously, this Heat starting 5 from like 2011 to 14. The Spurs starting 5 in 2014 with Kawhi, Matt, or technically Manu, if you want to say. He's in the starting 5, Duncan and Kawhi. But yeah, let's get into this. So, honorable mentions. Okay, so we have, well, I'm guessing we're going to see the Suns. But yeah, Detroit in 2003, 2004. Phillips, Hamilton, Tayshaun, Rasheed, and Ben. Honestly, that's, I think, one of the more talented starting 5s we have seen in the last 20 years. I guess it's maybe not as iconic, maybe just because of the market size of the Pistons, and they really didn't have that Hall of Famer, top 20 player, top 25, top 30 player ever, but they had a bunch of all-stars and really good players in their own rights. But yeah, it was no flash, no frills, all business basketball at its finest. So yeah, they had a dominant defense, obviously, with Rasheed, Ben, Tayshaun. Great stuff there. So that is an honorable mention. Suns in 04-05 with Steve Nash, Joe Johnson, Quentin Richardson, Sean Marion, and Amari Stoudemire. 7 seconds or less was one of the more entertaining teams to ever watch in NBA history. But I guess talent-wise, I would definitely take that Pistons lineup over them. But this is still a great lineup. You have a 2-time MVP. I don't know if Amari Stoudemire, I don't think he'll be a Hall of Famer, but he was a very good player before his kind of time in New York. Sean Marion, a great NBA player. People say he's a borderline Hall of Famer. Joe Johnson could get some recognition for the Hall of Fame. I don't think he'll get in, but definitely a sure Hall of Famer in Steve Nash, and then maybe 1 or 2 more in that starting 5. But here should have 4 probably Hall of Famers, maybe 3. Maybe it'll be Phillips and the Wallaces. I don't know if Prince or Hamilton will get in, but, you know, they could. Cavs in 15-16, okay. Kyrie, JR, LeBron, Love, and Tristan. I guess iconic just because it was the team that won the championship, but talent-wise, obviously LeBron was playing as good as ever then, though. So you have a top 3 player of all time, top 2 player, top 1 player of all time right there. And then you have Kyrie Irving, who is another all-star, all-NBA player, but then, like, J.R. Smith, I guess he's there obviously to shoot the ball, space the floor. Kevin Love wasn't great, but he was still solid for them, and Thompson was a solid rebounder. I mean, they all got paid pretty much a lot of money after this anyway, but I still think that this Pistons team could beat them. But I don't know. Maybe not, because this team did beat the 73-9 Warriors. So maybe I'm too high on this Pistons team and too low on this Cavs team. But I think, you know, I'm cool with an honorable mention. All right, so Lakers in 2000-2001 with Fisher, Kobe, Rick Fox, Horace Grant, and Shaquille O'Neal. Obviously the end of kind of Horace Grant's career, just kind of, he wasn't really in his prime anymore, but he was still a respectable starting player. And then they obviously had the most dominant player in the NBA probably at this time in Shaq. Obviously Jordan was at the end of his career. LeBron wasn't there yet. Duncan was coming to his own, obviously, but Shaq was probably the best player in the NBA at this time. And then you have obviously Kobe Bryant, and yeah, they won the championship, and they ended up winning 3 in itself. So that is definitely belonging here. Spurs in 06-07 with Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, Bruce Bowen, Tim Duncan, and Fabrizio Operto. Yeah, but that 1 through 4 is insane. You have a top 10 player of all time. You have probably 2 top 75 players of all time. You have one of the greatest defenders we have seen in Bruce Bowen, a good hip checker as well. And then you have Fabrizio Operto. But yeah, this 3 right here of Duncan, Parker, Ginobili, insane to have in a starting 5, and then you had Bruce Bowen as well, and yeah, that definitely belongs here as they swept the NBA Finals, they swept the Cavs who went there. Celtics in 07-08, so yeah, this had Rondo, Allen, Pierce, Garnett, and Kendrick Perkins, and KG and Perkins. As I said before, this lineup is insane. Has at least 3 Hall of Famers in Allen, Pierce, and Garnett. Rondo is a borderline guy. I think he'll make it in, but I'm not for sure if he actually will make it in. But either way, this is 3 definite Hall of Famers for borderline. If Rondo gets in, I'm not sure if he will. And then Kendrick Perkins, who wasn't great, but he was a serviceable center for them. He wasn't a horrible defender. He wasn't a liability. He was a solid rim protector. But obviously, this was by one of the greatest shooters of all time, the truth, one of the greatest power forwards of all time, and one of the best passing and floor general point guards we have seen in a single season. Like, Boston Rajon Rondo is one of my favorite players to watch ever. He in Boston was just so crafty on offense, and his passes were just insane, and it was so much fun to watch. And yeah, then you add in Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, and KG. This is one of the best rosters we have seen of all time. This was the big three, and honestly, it was more of a big four with Rondo as well. So yeah, I think that team, I don't know who would win, them or the Spurs. It would be close. Like, out of all three of these teams that have been mentioned so far, who's the best and who would win? Honestly, I feel like this one is the Celtics one would be very tough to beat. It would be very tough to beat. I don't know. I'll ask you guys in the comments which team, after we see all of these, is the best. Or maybe you could rank your top three. So let's see who is next year. The Miami Heat in 2012-2013 with Mario Chalmers, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, Udonis Haslem, and Chris Bosh. Two for sure Hall of Famers, obviously LeBron and Wade. Bosh will be probably a borderline guy if he is to get in. Mario Chalmers was just what you want as a point guard on that team. He wasn't going to turn it over a lot. He was going to not be a ball stopper. He was going to let LeBron and Wade do their things, and he was going to be there to shoot a three, play some defense, and just be a good complementary piece to those guys. And obviously Udonis Haslem was a long tenured Heat player at the time, and he was still a serviceable forward as well. He wasn't a huge liability there, and obviously they needed some cheap options because pretty much 90% of their salary cap was used on LeBron, Bosh, and Wade. So it's not like they could have had any really good center or power forwards or really good point guards to pair up with these guys, obviously. So this team right here would also be very tough to beat. I don't know. I'll rank my 5 teams here at the end, and I know it'll be super controversial, but I'll do it anyway. And you guys got to let me know who's like, or you could rank your 5 teams here as well. You're just 5 teams best talent-wise, or who you think would win. Obviously, he's going by most iconic. He's not really ranking. It's just like 6 of the more iconic starting 5s. But I'm going to rank them at the end, and it'll be very hard to do. And then I'm going to guess the final one will be the 2016-17 Warriors, or 2017-18 Warriors. Okay. Basically the same starting 5. So you had Curry, Clay, Iggy, KD, Draymond. Obviously known as the death lineup, the Hamptons 5. This team right here, talent-wise, is quite OP. So you have arguably one of the best point guards of all time. When he retires, he'll be a top 3 point guard. He'll be a Hall of Famer. He'll be a top 25 player of all time. You have a top, probably when he retires, 15 player of all time. Top 20. He'll be a 2-time at least NBA champion, 2-time Finals MVP, and yeah, one of the greatest players ever. So we have at least 3 top 30 players of all time right here. And then now you have one of the greatest shooters of all time, who will probably be a Hall of Famer when he retires. He's already a 3-time champion, multiple-time All-Star, All-NBA. Yeah, he'll be a Hall of Famer. Iguodala is like a guy like kind of in that Rondo, Kyle Lowry, Chris Bosh. Will he make it to the Hall of Fame? There's a chance he will. There's a chance he won't. He's a Finals MVP. He's a 3-time NBA champion. He definitely could be a Hall of Famer, 100%. And then Draymond could also be one as well, one of the best defenders we have ever seen from that time span from, 2015 when they won their first one to 2019 where they ended up losing to the Raptors. So that 5-year stretch, he was, a 2 or 1-time Defensive Player of the Year. He was all NBA, all defense. He was, actually, I don't know if he was all NBA, so I'm not going to say that with all that confidence. But yeah, he was a multiple-time All-Star. He was one of the greatest defenders we've ever seen. He kind of revolutionized the stretch 4 and what it would really make to be a elite stretch 4 to add to your team. Someone that can space the floor, pass the ball, rebound, run in transition, shoot threes, play great defense. That was basically Draymond. And yeah, the starting 5 would be very tough to beat. So now I'm going to rank them. Okay, so this is going to be very tough. Honestly, I'm like debating putting this Lakers team at 5. Honest, I don't know. I just think each of these other teams have at least like 3 Hall of Famers in their own right. And at like this time, like it was pretty much just Kobe and Shaq. So I honestly think I'm going to put this Lakers team at 5. And I think a lot of people are going to get mad, but I'm going to do this Lakers team at 5. Alright, so that Lakers team is going to go at 5. Now, who's going to go at 4? Okay, it's either, I think, Boston or San Antonio, but I'm going to go San Antonio. And yeah, no way. I know it's like just one of the greatest teams ever, one of the best coach teams ever. But I'm putting them at 4 because, it's just going to be so hard to rank these Coming in at 3 is probably going to be Boston. Yeah, coming at 3 will be Boston. Number 2, Miami, and then number 1, the Warriors. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Just rank them 1 through 5, and let me know what you guys think. But yeah, that is going to be for me. Thank you all for watching. Drop a thumbs up if you guys do enjoy these videos. And like I just said, let me know in the comments your 1 through 5 here. It would be kind of a fun debate to have in the comment section. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.